we are as a people, inherently and historically, opposed to secret society, opposed to secret oaths, opposed to secret proceedings, secret proceedings. No official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, would interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news.
Shut up.
To cover up our mistakes. Or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know.
All right, welcome back to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. It's still November. I gotta get used to saying November now. November 1st still. Second episode for today. I just got out of the bathtub. I bathed and shaved. I'm clean and fresh, baby. You like my mugger's mask? This is for my second job, sticking up old ladies at the ATM machine. I'm just kidding. So we put out a serious episode about government shutdown, Epstein list, 3i Atlas, NASA, bunch of conspiracies, but it's all connected. Let's do some fun shit, okay? I know it's not October anymore, and I know the trend is to do paranormal, ufology, spooky stuff, cryptozoology during the month of October. That's my normal style. But I found out some news yesterday, and there is a story that I've been keeping up with because I am a member of the paranormal community as far as ghost hunting, paranormal research. Me and Sammy are amateur ghost hunters. I will say amateur because we're just amateur ghost hunters. I gotta fucking find this shit again and pull it up. God damn it. Sorry. The Conjuring house is up for sale, the Perron household. And I want to get into spilling some tea on it. And it's connected with ghost hunters, which I'm a huge fan of. We'll get into it. And there's a possible prequel to The Conjuring coming out. So first off, I have a playlist called The Warrens. Go check it out. Where we cover anything with Ed and Lorraine Warren connected. Whether it be the true stories, debunking, Annabelle, The Conjuring. It's a big ass fucking list. We've been covering the Warrens forever on this channel. So go check it out. I have a Buy Me a Coffee account set up in the link below. If you want to donate, that would be cool. If you donate $10, I will send you a sticker through snail mail. And you can message me through Buy Me a Coffee if you donate $10. And we'll figure out the address and all that shit, and I'll send it to you. Alright, let's get on with the show. Alright, so let's get into some paranormal tea. The Perron household is up for sale. And we covered here recently Matt Rife. Kind of a little deep dive on Matt Rife. I am a fan of stand-up comedy. Like most media, I'm very picky. And this isn't me trying to be edgy or cool. It's just, with most media, I am very picky because there's usually some form of propaganda behind most media. And or most of it's trash. So with stand-up comedians, I like Doug Stanhope, I like Sam Tripoli, I like Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks is my favorite. George Carlin. That type of stand-up comedy is my style of stand-up comedy. So I didn't know who the fuck this Matt Rife dude was who bought the Warrens Museum. Well, is leasing it. So we did a deep dive on him. Go check it out in the playlist. And we talked about how much they're fucking, dude, they are charging so goddamn much to stay the night at the Warren household and visit the museum. It's redonkulous. It's a money grab. Matt Rife is a trash garbage person. And his little buddy too, which I did kind of say that maybe we'll have to do a deep dive on him. So, I've always been a fucking fan of ghost hunters. To me, as far as like reality TV, and as far as like ghost hunting shows, Ghost Hunters I feel like is the most legit. And I'll tell you why. For one, they just seem down to earth. They seem cool. They were humble beginnings. Both of them were plumbers during the day and ghost hunters at night. It was their side job that ended up becoming their American dream job, you know, which is what every American dreams of, you know, is to do something that you love where it doesn't feel like work and make a living off of it. Hence this podcast. That, and I remember after my mom and dad divorced, I remember being in like this shitty ass apartment in Danville, Kentucky, in a ghetto. And, well, Kentucky's small town version of ghetto, you know. And that was our jam. Like, I think it was Wednesday nights. Every Wednesday night, me, my mom, and my little brother, that was our family thing. Was we would have dinner, whether it was takeout or mom would fix dinner, whatever. We all looked forward to Wednesday nights of watching a new episode of Ghost Hunters. And the reason why I like Ghost Hunters so much and why I believe that they were legit is because they were the only ghost show on to where sometimes there would be boring episodes. And that to me was like, oh, that's why it's legit. Because anyone who's ghost hunted, like me and my wife, represent Team Spectre, you know that most of ghost hunting, like 90% of it, is boring as fuck. It really is. Because not much really happens. I know, like, you see movies of, like, demons flying out of walls and shit. Most of it's boring as fuck. And most of these places that we visit, we don't catch shit. I'm sorry. Go watch 1308. That's a really good movie that kind of talks about ghost hunting and shit. But, and it shows the true side of it. Anyways, he's trying to buy the house. And from what I've heard through the grapevine, the bald guy, not the guy with hair, but the bald guy, I think his name's like Hawkins or something. No, not Justin Hawkins. That's the lead singer for the Darkness. Sorry. We'll get to it because we're gonna read an article. But he's trying to buy the house so that way Matt Rife doesn't fucking get it, and his little goon that he's hanging out with. And what he's trying to do is like do like a GoFundMe. Basically get the paranormal community, skeptics and believers together, crossing the aisle of, hey, let's all work together, let's buy the Perron house, and let's open it up for tours and investigations, but at an affordable price. Because Matt Rife with the Conjuring Museum is being an asshole piece of shit. Essentially. To cut to the chase, that's what's going on. And to me, that's super respectable. That's super honorable. Because it'll allow me and my wife, who are amateur investigators and poor as fuck, to go see this place and check it out and investigate it and document. And he's like, I don't even want to make a profit off of it. Because he's made so much off of Ghost Hunters and his plumbing business. and he's probably receiving residual checks, because that's how that works. He's like, it's not about the money. I want it for the historical value. I want to buy it and make it affordable for amateur investigators and content creators who aren't Mr. Beast or Matt Rife, to be able to, average Joes like me who have fucking 500 subs, to go in there and be able to afford and check it out and document it. And to me, that's fucking awesome. So let's get into it. I'll read this article and comment on it. One of the world's most haunted houses that inspired The Conjuring goes up for sale. And this is by Mirror. A haunted house that has lured ghost hunters from across the globe and even inspired horror blockbuster The Conjuring is going up for auction. And by the way, this is October 25th that this article was written, so it's fresh off the press. And the sale is happening on Halloween. So yesterday, the sale happened. A freaky farmhouse that inspired Halloween horror, The Conjuring, because of paranormal sightings and spooky activity, I swear I can read, is going up for auction on October 31st. The 8.5-acre property last changed hands in 2022 when self-described medium Jacqueline Nunez purchased it for $1.525 million, land records show. By the way, I kind of kept up with that story because I subscribed to the bald guy from Ghost Hunters. And dude, she turned it into a shit show also. So he was doing a lot of reporting on it, and this was probably, I'd say about 2 years ago. He was doing a lot of reporting on it, and me and my wife were like gossiping about it. Not on record, but like off record, just to each other, pillow talk and shit. We're talking about it, and that's a whole nother fucking saga right there. So Nunez turned the 18th century farmhouse into a ghost tourism business, offering overnight stays and paranormal hunts, according to New York Post. Quit scratching that box. I have a cat over here. I'm not schizophrenic. But by August 2023, the property owner was surrounded in controversy. WPRI-TV reported that Nunez fired her property manager after claiming the spirit of former owner John Arnold told her the worker was stealing. This started a legal battle over back pay, and other ex-employees began accusing Nunez of mistreatment. This reminds me a lot of the Bell Witch Cavern, which, pun intended, the owner of the Bell Witch Cavern is this grumpy-ass old man who is literally a garbage person. He treats, like, everyone like dog shit every time they go. And the sad thing is like, the Bell Witch is probably, like, I would say the most biggest famous haunting in America. Amityville, I don't know. It'd be between Bell Witch and Amityville. It's hard to really say because there's not an actual competition, but anyways, it just kind of reminds me of that. Like, they're real shitty to the employees. They are super shitty to the customers. Go look at Bell Witch and look at their Google rating, dude. Like, they have horrible reviews. And it's almost honestly kind of scared me and my wife from even going and checking it out, because like we would end up doing like a 4-hour drive to get treated like shit. You know what I mean? By November, Burrillville officials had revoked her entertainment license, saying there were irregularities in her applications and that they had concerns over safety at the property, which, like I said, that's a whole nother saga. Maybe we'll do a deep dive on it. It's pretty crazy. There were apparently tense run-ins with local police, and Nunez also clashed with high-profile figures in the paranormal community. One run-in was with ghost Hunters TV star Jason Hawes. So, by the way, Jason, if you see this, which I doubt you will, but I meant to say your name correctly. Not Justin Hawkins. Jason Hawes. He's the bald dude from Ghost Hunters. He's awesome as fuck. Both of them are awesome as fuck. The Ghost Hunters crew is cool. I've always supported them. I've always said nothing but good about them over the years. They're cool as fuck. And they're legit. They're not like Ghost Adventures. They're not like Zach Baggins, you know. I'm Zach Baggins from the Shire. Who told police she had harassed him and his family? Yeah, this chick was nuts. I remember this story now. It's coming back in fragments. Fast forward to today, and the farmhouse is due to go back on the market and will be auctioned off on October 31st, Halloween, yesterday. The auction is listed as a mortgagee foreclosure sale, meaning a lender is seizing the property because mortgage payments have been missed. Seriously? Advertisement. Hang on. Wow. Your website is broken, Mirror. There's an entire paragraph I can't read. I can't move the fucking ad. This is... Sorry. Technical difficulties. So there's an entire paragraph. I have no clue what the fuck it says. The pair, already owners of the... I'm sorry if this is disjointed, you know. Mirror, your website fucking blows. The pair, already owners of the Connecticut home once belonging to famed ghost hunting couple Ed and Lorraine Warren, told WPRI TV they wanted to add the Burrillville property to their collection. So Ed and Lorraine Warren owned it. Oh, it's getting into the Matt Rife shit. But we're talking about the Perron household. So, as a fan of the paranormal film and the history of the property and the land it sits on, it'd be an honor to preserve its beauty, Rife said last month. Yeah, and you're not honoring anything. You're literally price gouging and being a scumbag. And honestly, no offense, dude. I like outlaw comedy. As soon as I seen this dude, I'm like, oh, you're a pretty boy Floyd. You're clean cut. You wear fucking Abercrombie Fitch. You're a sexy 20-year-old. Like, there is zero outlaw. Like, no fucking outlaw whatsoever. I like outlaw comedy, dude. Of like a Ron White, a George Carlin, a Sam Tripoli, a Doug Stanhope. He's as outlaw as you fucking get. Doug Stanhope, you know. I don't like this clean-cut fucking pussy-ass shit, man. The Warrens, whose case files inspired the Conjuring franchise, investigated the house in the 1970s after the Perron family reported violent hauntings. In 1971, Roger and Carolyn Perron and their 5 daughters moved into an old farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island, and began experiencing a lot of paranormal activity. These frightening experiences ranged from hearing noises and seeing apparitions to more disturbing events like beds levitating and objects moving on their own. And the chilling tales became the basis of one of Hollywood's most successful horror series. Today, the farmhouse still draws believers who insist its walls are alive with spirits. Visitors have reported shadows, whispers, and sudden drops in temperature, with skeptics dismiss the stories as a marketing hype. So, be it as it may, I hope Jason Hawes gets this house, dude, and not Matt Rife. I seriously, I pray, because it's got a lot of historical value. It would be nice to go. Jason needs to own this house. He would do the right thing. Matt Rife is such a fucking scumbag in this community. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck. Shots fired. Go check out the playlist and go check out the previous episodes about it, because it's a whole shenanigans. Let's get on with the next story, though. It is connected with The Conjuring. So me and my wife, we did we watched the movie together, but she had to go to work. That's right. I did a movie review on Last Rites. Not gonna lie, I'm a fan of the Conjuring movies. But I, unlike most people, and I'm not talking to you, the listener, I'm talking to like blue-pilled sheeple, you know. I know that there's artistic license. I know how to suspend belief and have a good time. I know that they're true stories, but are they? Are they? But I do enjoy the Conjuring series as entertainment, you know. I'm not sitting there taking notes like this is actual history I'm watching, you know. So they finished the Conjuring series on the fourth one with Last Rites. So go check out that movie review and my thoughts on it. And I knew they left it open-ended to where, for one, there's supposed to be, it's not The Conjuring, but it's a movie. It's not a movie, but it's a series that's supposed to come out on, I think it's Amazon, or no, it's HBO Max, maybe. I don't know. I did a whole episode on it. We covered it. Where it's the daughter of Ed and Lorraine, and each episode will be based on a certain occult item within the museum. Kind of like what Zach Baggins did with his museum. He did a whole reality TV series where they would take one item, and the whole episode would be about that one item, the story behind the item, the origin of the item. Like, it was kind of cool. So they're doing the same thing with the HBO TV series. But now, The Conjuring, which they did leave it open-ended, and they did hint that it's not over, they're going to do a prequel. And not going to lie, as a Conjuring fan, I'm not a fan of Ed and Lorraine Warren. I used to be until I did a whole episode deep diving on the dark side of the Warrens. Go check that episode out. They're not good people. They're really not. But I can suspend belief just to watch a movie and enjoy it. I'm kind of stoked that they're going to keep it going. So, not so Last Rites for the Warrens, as the Conjuring prequel is officially in development at Warner Brothers, which I'm a pretty big fan of Warner Brothers. I haven't really heard much bad about Warner Brothers, and a lot of their movies that they put out are pretty fucking good movies. And video games, because I do have another podcast, Blue Pill Podcast, where I do game reviews. I play a lot of Warner Brothers video games, and they're actually decent games, man. They're pretty fucking good. I ain't got no beef with Warner Brothers. It seems there are indeed more cases to solve for Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Conjuring universe is not only the most successful horror franchise in history, it's also one of the only cinematic universes that has managed to connect with audiences. Billed as the last chapter in the franchise, The Conjuring Last Rites was meant to be a swan song for Ed and Lorraine Warren. However, plans changed when the movie became a massive financial success. Despite lukewarm reviews, 59% Rotten Tomatoes score, it grossed $489 million internationally, more than any previous Conjuring installment. Of course, they went out with a bang. Everyone who has been a fan since, I think it was like 2013 when the first Conjuring came out. Because I was with my ex-wife, dude. We were living at my mom's when we went and seen it in theaters. I'll never forget, too, seeing the first Conjuring in theaters as a young man, and literally my ex-wife, dude, she used to like drink like a fish and smoke like a dragon. She'd fall asleep super quick, and I'm an insomniac, so I'd be up all night. And dude, I was like literally, I'm scared of the dark. I had a demonic experience, you guys know. So I was up all night just fucking terrified after we watched the first Conjuring movie. It freaked me the fuck out. They're good flicks. With that, it was difficult to imagine Warner Brothers being willing to say goodbye to the franchise. And goodbye the studio did not say. Per Variety, a Conjuring prequel movie is in the works from Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema, which I enjoy both of those companies, man. They put out... New Line Cinema is a little more B movie, because they did like Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, but I've always been a fan of pretty much a lot of their stuff, their product. They to me, they put out good shit. The film is set to focus on the Warrens' early days as paranormal investigators, which I said this in the Last Rites review, man. They introduced two new actors and actress. An actor and an actress they introduced as Ed and Lorraine Warren when they were younger. And I even said this then. I'm like, they're going to use him and her in prequels. Watch. Mark my words, they're going to start a new series. It's not going to be called The Conjuring, but it's essentially The Conjuring of Ed and Lorraine Warren in the early days. And I was right. I'm a prophet. Given the prequel nature of the project, it seems unlikely that Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson will return to play Ed and Lorraine Warren, respectively. They might make cameos, though. We shall see. Rodriguez Huart is in negotiations to helm the project, which is being written by Ian Goldberg and Richard Nying. The duo co-wrote The Nun 2. That's not looking promising, because here's my beef with the Conjuring universe, as they quote it. I like the Conjuring films that are based off of true events. But they went fucking nuts with this series, making a whole universe of it, and like literally making up shit and doing entire movies on made up shit. So I don't watch the Nun series. I don't watch the Annabelle series. La Llorona like sucked balls because it was all just made up shit. And they tied Annabelle into La Llorona. It was fucking dumb. I like just the Conjurings. That's it. Give me a true story event, and I'll watch it. I'll suspend belief long enough for the movie to end. But I do enjoy it, you know. They are good movies. Huart gained recognition during short films like Real, Trigger, and Transylvania. Never heard of any of those. Aside from the Conjuring prequel, he is set to write and direct Paramount's Suffer Little Children, a remake of a 1976 Who Can Kill a Child. That sounds dark as fuck. Okay. Something unique about the Conjuring universe is how smoothly it's lent itself into continuations. The franchise established that demons of all sorts can be found anywhere, of course. That little piece of lore provided Warner Brothers with a nearly ever-fresh storytelling well that, if handled correctly, will not dry out for the foreseeable future. Of course not. They're sitting on a bag, man. Though past installments like The Curse of La Llorona and Nun 2 seem to indicate the franchise's popularity was waning, Last Rites proved otherwise. You know why? I just said it. Because no one wants made up bullshit. You guys are literally creating fantasy out of your butthole with these stupid side movies. Quit the stupid side shit. We want actual case file movies of true stories. We don't want fake made up shit. But there you go. Conjuring, they're going to make a prequel, and the Perron household was sold at auction yesterday. I hope Jason got that house, dude, and not Matt Rife. There's a little tea in the paranormal community. Love you all. Please like, share, and subscribe, and you all have an awesome day. I think this is probably my last podcast today. I'm kind of tired.